Now, the bill isn't perfect. It's a compromise. Nobody's going to get everything they want. Not Democrats, not Republicans, not me. But it's consistent with the principles that I and others have laid out for common sense reform. That's why Republicans and Democrats, CEOs and labor leaders are saying that now's the time to pass this bill.
Turning now to another hot-button issue, Senate Democrats have vowed to finish working on an immigration bill by July 4th. Monday, there will be a procedural vote on a border security agreement that was crafted by 2 Republican senators. President Obama is offering his support for the so-called Gang of 8 bill, but the real question is whether House GOP leaders will go for it. Many Republicans remain skeptical of claims that border security will be effective or enforced. Joining us now to weigh in, New York Times bestselling author Ann Coulter. Ann, great to see you.
Hi, Uma. Good to see you.
I know you're very wary of having lawmakers pass a bipartisan immigration reform bill, even though we're talking about a Senate bill right now. You want the House to steer clear away from it until 2014 elections are over, and you hope that there's going to be a Republican-controlled Senate at that time, so you don't have to deal with all this.
Yes, exactly. So we can pass a bill that actually is an E-Verify bill, a fence bill. I loved that. I love that clip from Obama you just played, as if, you know, this is some reasonable bipartisan bill and everybody gets something. No, the Democrats will get 30 million new voters, 80% of which, according to all polls, will be voting for the Democrats. Why any Republican would support this, and by the way, I mean, it is kind of striking that Republicans, including Marco Rubio, don't support such amnesties when they're running for office. Oh no, somehow it's once they get to Washington, they discover all these, you know, unknown bounties for Republicans in amnesty. But Rubio specifically said a pathway to citizenship is amnesty when he ran against Charlie Crist a couple of years ago.
But many senators, including John McCain, are saying they're confident that concerns over border security will be satisfied with this amendment. And a lot of people are also wondering, though, what's the big rush to passing this bill before July 4th?
Yes, you're absolutely right. This is the way the Democrats always hoodwink, always snooker the Republicans, as they tried to do with gun control. Oh, come on, you have to be for gun control after Newtown. We're trying to help you out, Republicans. Why don't we schedule the vote for Sunday? And the better path has always been, let's think about this. Let's see what's in this 1,000-page bill. I mean, this is another Obamacare-type bill where people don't know what's in it. A real immigration bill could be about 1 page long. Enforce, E-Verify, build a fence. This idea that a fence is some impossible thing. Now, what do you mean, a fence? We don't understand it. It won't work. You know, fences have worked all over the world, going back hundreds of years.
And, you know, I mean, you mentioned the fact that a 1,000-page bill, a lot of folks are worried that the senators who will be voting on this are not going to have to will not have the chance to read all of the bill. And some of the things that we're not hearing about that much about this bill is that there will be no repercussions reportedly for immigrants who overstay their visas, and that they will still remain on the path to citizenship if they do and get a green card. Isn't that giving immunity to people who violate our laws and going to make things worse than what we have now?
Yes, absolutely. But the Democrats don't care about making lawbreakers first immediately getting them legalized, and then a few years later giving them citizenship because it helps them electorally. And don't be mistaken, the Democrats do not care about these people. It is generally, they certainly don't care about low-wage workers. That's who Republicans should care about. We care about Americans, and low-wage workers are going to be devastated by bringing in another 30 million very low-wage workers. It's just the laws of supply and demand. People will be poorer, especially those without a high school education, without a college education. They're already suffering under Obama with massive unemployment. The last thing we need is another 30 million low-wage workers. And by the way, the reason I keep saying 30 million is the estimates now, and I'll assume they are correct, is that we have 11 million illegal immigrants here. Well, but we have chain migration under Teddy Kennedy's 1965 Immigration Act. So that 11 million can instantly start bringing in their distant relatives, their brothers-in-law, their second cousins, which is what happened with Reagan's 1986 amnesty bill, which is why you get the 1986 amnesty bill. In 1988, the Republicans Republican share of the Hispanic vote plummeted from 37% to 30%. A few years later, the last Republican was elected statewide in California. This is devastating for the Republican Party, which Republicans should care about. It's also devastating for the country, which the entire country should care about, especially those who care about people who are at the bottom rungs of society.